Hello, Courtney, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing that kind of guidance versus blockages reading with the spirit guides, just to see where we are at the moment, where you are at the moment, what needs to be cleared away, what you have to pay attention to, and things like that. So I went ahead and chose 5 decks for this reading. We may use them all, but we may not. We know that the month of August is crazy retrograde month. So right now at the moment we are in that, what is it, the Uranus retrograde, which is, you know, on a normal occasion will tell us to calm down and take it easy, but because we have the Mercury on shadow right now and coming on retrograde in what, a week, you know, we're feeling like just the opposite. Like, you want to be calm, but at the same time you cannot. So it's just a big deal for sensitives, for energy sensitives. So as usual for the reading, I do have that amethyst cluster, and that's for healing and balance energy, as well as that clear quartz to enhance any of the messages that come across, as well as keeping us grounded. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with tarot. We're going to take a look at the energy, then we're going to go from there. And I'm going to actually show you the decks that I'm going to be using, because I know you like decks. So let me find, okay, the tarot deck that I'm using is the Triple Goddess Tarot, and I love, love, love the artwork on this. I'm also going to be using the Wisdom House of the Night, which is amazing, especially when you're dealing with blockages. I'm also going to be using the Oracle of Visions, which is great, especially to do intuitive readings because of the artwork. We might be using as well as the art through the Starstream Oracle. I think Sarita got the other one. They're sister decks. I do have the other one as well. I just haven't used it that much, but this one is very amazing too. And then the Psychic Tarot, which is called a Psychic Tarot, but this is actually an oracle deck because it does bring 68 cards, and this is one that I always like to use when I know I'm dealing with someone who is gifted like yourself. So those are the ones that we're going to be using today, and we're going to be starting off with that tarot. And I do want to apologize if you do see Hex climb on here. She's been climbing on here a lot. She has an obsession with the tarot mat as well as with the tarot cards. I do think she is sleeping though. So if you do see a little black cat, it's not an omen of any sort. It's just Hex, who's she's taking her role as a witch cat very seriously. So let's go ahead and begin. So let me straighten this up. As we know, I am not the most technological person of them all. One day I will be, I hope. Is it crooked? And the OCD does not help me whatsoever. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with tarot. And then we're going to move from there. And I do have the spirit guide candles burning in the background, in the back, in the outside, oh my goodness, I forgot the word, in the outside altar. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card. And the first card that we have is the Ace of Swords. So we know that the Ace of Swords, it's all about your intellect and your logic. Basically receiving a lot of new ideas. We see the Ace of Swords in some other deck as the new beginnings kind of card. And now when we're doing this kind of reading, the Ace of Swords is asking you to, as the spirit guide energy, asking you to embrace all of your new ideas and move away your self-doubt. You've been having a lot of new creative ideas, especially when it comes to your gifts, but for some reason you either don't go through with them or you feel like you need a little bit more guidance. What the spirit guides are saying to this is basically remove your self-doubt. Just get it done. You are where you need to be. The only thing that's stopping you at the moment is that self-doubt. When we take a look at that, we see how gifted you are. I see how gifted you are. The other girls see how gifted you are. Now, the only person that needs to see how gifted you are is yourself. So in order to get moving and just it's just basically getting it done, working through that self-doubt and just getting it out there. Now, the Ace of Swords is now followed by that Knight of Pentacles. So when we're following with the Knight of Pentacles, it's asking you to just keep on going, keep your pace slow and steady, and learn to overcome your boundaries. So your boundaries right now, because they're side to side, is that self-doubt. It's almost like the spirit guides are saying that you're being stubborn at the moment, and stubborn is the word that keeps showing up, and that you are either being too cautious or almost like at a complete standstill. They want you to establish your trust and your security when it comes to yourself. So that's the key word that I'm seeing from them, is that you're being stubborn with something that involves your energy. So what they're saying is, once again, just learn to trust yourself and just basically just go for it. When we see the next card, we're seeing another Swords card. So now we do have the Knight of Swords. So when we have the reverse Knight of Swords, what we're seeing here is basically a lot of wisdom, a lot of wise plans, and it's just more time of being blunt, and you're bursting once again with that creativity, but you have to put your mind at ease. So meditation, and I know meditation and you have that kind of battle with each other, but meditation, whether you feel it's working or not, it is actually working. Trying different ways of meditation. Let's say meditation is not your thing. Light a candle and stare at the flame. What the spirit guides are saying is basically that it's almost like you know exactly what to do, and they're right there, and they really just want to start moving your hands, is the sense that I'm getting, is one of them standing behind you and almost motioning to moving your hand. So basically they want you to get in motion. They want you to just get it complete, and this is basically based on your energy here. So what we're talking about is your gifts. So we're talking about putting your gifts to work, and they are at a point right now that they literally want to start moving you, but they can't. You either have to allow them by lighting a candle and connecting with them and allowing them to guide you in this journey. But a lot of the things that's holding you back right now is that basically that self-doubt is the only thing that's blocking you. When we were taking a look at the energy around you so far, I don't see any kind of blockage coming from an outside source. So I'm not seeing right at this moment, remember there's more cards to come, but I'm not seeing at this moment from this first line any outside blockages. So right now what they're telling me is your inner doubt. You're right where you need to be when it comes to your gifts. They are extremely active and being weighted to use. You just have to know that you can do it. And the only person that you can, it's like they just keep screaming, stubborn, 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 stop being stubborn. And for some reason I could actually picture you smiling at this very moment. But that's all that I'm getting. A lot of them just kind of just saying, oh, you have to stop being stubborn. The next one is that Seven of Pentacles. So when we see the Seven of Pentacles is harvesting what you need. It's kind of almost picking out what you want to choose, and it's almost like you're waiting to be in the right time for the right moment. And what they're saying with this card is that you are at the right time, and this is the right moment, that you have to stop waiting for it to come. You are standing right now where you need to be. So basically you are where you need to be in order to get things in motion. So stop waiting for the right moment to come to you. I'm sensing they're almost desperate. They're almost like in a very playful, mischievous way, but also almost desperate, like they're almost holding their heads if they were to have heads, and just kind of nodding their heads, you know, like going, like saying no with their heads is the picture that I'm getting. Like they know that you are where you need to be. They are literally waiting for you to get into motion. So from here, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and go to the Psychic Tarot and see what we find. Now what we're doing here is seeing just the energy or what you need to work on, what to pay attention to, and things like that. So right away we have the Sacral Chakra card, and I know this was the position number 4, but when we see the Sacral Chakra card, basically upside down, is that sacral chakra is blocked at the moment, and that's why I kind of went to that. We know that the sacral chakra is basically the second located below your belly button, 2 fingers below your belly button to be exact. And this is kind of like relates to emotion, it relates to desires, to the creativity, and to sexuality. You need to keep this chakra balanced, and basically to get it balanced and to get it flowing, try dancing, try moving your hips and your lower abdomen. Use a color meditation and practice yoga as well. Express your sexuality and nurture yourself, and remember, you do matter. So this is kind of embracing who you are as well as raising your self-esteem. So a lot of hip movement, basically go for the floor, go for the yoga, and kind of do a lot of opening the hip movement, a lot of splits, the split, even, you know, if let's say you can't get all the way down, just a lot of opening your hip movement to create, to help this chakra become not, you know, just become balanced again. So let's go ahead, that one just caught my attention. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. So the first card that we have is that passion ignited card. And when we're seeing this card is all about how to awaken your inner passion, how to awaken what you want to do, what you're all about. When we see the passion ignited, it's basically talking about your awakenings, talking about that part of your journey where you are now. So having the awakening card, we see that a lot of your gifts are basically right there. They're very clear, they're very ready, meaning your third eye is quite very clear. Your third eye chakra is very grounded, it's very clear, it's very open. But basically you need to put them into practice. It signifies that this is the actual time to let your soul just kind of go, just kind of roar. New beginnings are coming your way. You're full of ideas, revelation, and exciting adventures are kind of waiting for you in the background. So basically anything creative that creates enthusiasm in you will shift your energy into more positive energy and almost feeling like a renewed spiritual strength, and it will be at an all-time high. So how do you get there? Doing some third eye opening meditation. Your third eye is balanced, especially with this card when we see it in the position that it's in. So I'm not worried about your third eye not being balanced. Now you have to open it. So opening it is quieting down the busy mind and allowing your intuitive ways, your third eye, your clear seeing, almost your clairvoyancy to come through and seeing with the third eye. So basically try to see situations, see people, not with your physical eye, but with what you sense of them, if that makes sense. So it's basically focusing on your clairsentient gift as well as your clairvoyancy gift. I could send you more information on those gifts if you want to, but those are the ones that are quite very strong and they're very balanced. It just seems like they're being crowded and shadowed by the overactive mind. When we take a look at the next card is Choose Wisely. So when we have Choose Wisely, it just says it on itself. So choosing wisely is choosing your next movement. What do you want to do? Now when we're choosing wisely, you have to make sure that you are choosing for yourself, that you're doing it for yourself, that you're not doing it for anybody else. And this is a choice that is going to empower you and give you strength, not anybody else. You're not going to do anything for anybody at this when you're making this choice. This is all going to be about you. You've put a lot of people first. You've put a lot of energy to another people. So now, you know, the spirit guides are kind of just screaming, you know, you need to come first. You need to basically how do you say, recharge your energy. They want you to recharge your energy. They want you to get balanced again. You may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You may be feeling like there's too much going on, but you can't pinpoint what it is. When it comes to those feelings, we know that this is the Mercury retrograde doing that. What the spirit guides are saying is you need to learn how to quiet your mind in the background and follow your energy. So as you can see, they're very focused when it comes to your psychic gifts. The next one is the Partners and Alliances. Partners and Alliances is a very important card because this is the people that surround you, the people in your circle. So knowing that if any kind of battle shows up, as you can see, they have the flags in the background, you have partners, you have alliances. So basically, if anybody messes with you, you know that you have me, you have Sarita, and you have your people in your close circle. And if you're like me, your circle is more like a dot because there's rarely anybody in the circle. But basically, fall back on these people when you need help. Fall back on these people when you need to be heard, knowing that you can trust people and not be judged. Right now, you need to stay away from people that put you down. You need to stay away from people that make you feel like you're less. You need to stay away from anybody that just doesn't make you feel right. You need to set your boundaries straight. Straight. That's what your spirit guides are kind of stumping to, that stronger boundaries they want you to have. So from here, let's go ahead and get into those wisdom cards. And this is basically the cards that I like to center basically in this reading, the ones that I kind of just the ones that we get more information from, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. When we see the first card, we have the beauty card. So what the beauty card is talking about is basically reminding you that beauty is never perfect, just as the beautiful experiences you have will not be perfect forever. So not only embracing yourself, also lowering your expectations when it comes to yourself, learning to accept yourself, your light self, your dark self, but also knowing that this the little things that matter as well. Make sure that you're not focusing so much ahead of you that you're missing the things that are happening around you. Once again, if you are having a good day, learn that day to shield yourself and not let anybody anywhere ruin that for you. Do not give anybody that power. The next card that we have is the movement card, and it's kind of showing that this is a time of change for you as well as movement. And it's what we are talking about, a transformation. This is maybe also why you've been feeling overwhelmed lately. When we're going through transformation stages, we don't feel it. We can't just say, oh yeah, I feel like this because I am in a transformation stage. No, when we're going through transformation stages, especially with gifts, it's messy. We don't know what's going on. We just think there's something extremely wrong with us, our moods, everything. What's happening here is you're going to a transformation stage, and psychics and gifted people, my grandmother taught me this, and I remember I would laugh when I was little, and now I'm like, okay, you know, she wasn't kidding. It's almost like a midlife crisis for people that are not gifted, but when you're gifted, you kind of get this midlife crisis once a year, once every 2 years. And it means when you're shifting, so your energy begins to shift. Your gifts that may be your heightened, may go into the background, and in comes your gifts. So what happens is that we get used to, let's say, being an empath. We get used to being a claircognizant. So all of a sudden, here comes our clairsentient and clairvoyant gift awakening, which is what's happening to you. So we're so used to having our empath abilities, and suddenly those go away, and we're starting to receive visions and starting to receive just a lot of energy that doesn't belong to us, that we don't know, because we're only used to the gifts that we understood we had. So when we're going through a transformation, we tend to think, this is it, I've lost my mind, or there's something extremely wrong with me. So what you need to realize is that these new feelings, these new mood swings, these new things that you're feeling has nothing to do with you. It is what you're sensing from everybody. And a thing that I get asked a lot, especially because we are living in a world of Facebook, Instagram, things like that. A lot of people are like, can you sense people's energy through a chat or through their profile? Yes, you can. I've had people, like you did, send me pictures, and all you have to do is look at a person's eyes, study their profile a little bit, and instantly your clairsentience is going to be active, and you're going to either feel very attractive to that person's energy, like you need to have this person as part of your life, or you're going to feel just disgusted, like there's something that's going to hit you that you're going to be like, ew, you know, like, ew. Like, and it is possible. So if that's happened to you and maybe you've doubted, like, oh yeah, right, I can't sense people's energy if they're not by me. That's not true. You can sense people's energy in different ways. When we take a look at the next one is the self-worth card. And the self-worth card is basically, you're being asked by your spirit guides to consider what value do you place on yourself and in your life. This is kind of extremely very linked to our self-love class, and this has to do with your self-esteem as well as embracing who you are and lifting yourself up. Stop putting yourself down. You are beautiful and you're magnificent. If I could literally shake that into you, I would get on a plane and show up in your house and shake it into you. You need to realize what a valuable, gifted person you are, and stop putting yourself down. And it's basically the spirit guides, you know, they also have that wish for you to be able to see yourself how they see yourself, how we see yourself. So this is the work in progress that you kind of have to continue to do. When we get the next card, which is amazing, especially when you have that third eye chakra up there, we have the vision card, and it's ran by Aphrodite, and the vision card is all about your third eye. So you can see that it came out in a different deck, and when we see the vision, you know that that's your clear seeing that we just talked about, which is your clairvoyancy gift, and it means that no matter what you lose in your life, something better will replace it. So that would be the energy of that card. But what this means when we see this card as well is basically your spirit guides want you to pay extremely attention to visions. So you may be asking, okay, how do I know it's visions? Visions is something that kind of hits you, kind of like when you sense people's energy, you know, it kind of hits you like a mood swing. When you're receiving clairvoyancy messages, it's almost like getting an out of place thought. Let's say you're in your house and you're thinking about, I don't know, you're thinking about something, and all of a sudden you get this vision of, I don't know, let's say a tree and a swing and a lake or something, and you just kind of catch yourself off guard and you're like, wait a minute, what am I thinking about? That right there is a clairvoyancy picture, vision. The reason why people don't understand clairvoyancy so much is because Hollywood has torn it apart into pieces and made it something that honestly it doesn't exist. So right now you are receiving a lot of visions, so it's time for you to pay attention to them. It's time for you to write them down, and it's time for you to learn more about clairvoyancy. Right now I'm sensing that your gifts are, at the moment, the clairvoyancy and the clairsentience. So we're talking about sensing energy. We're talking about visions, and I wouldn't doubt if you're also getting the clairaudience, which is receiving like out of body sounds. So footsteps that are not there, doors closings that are not there, jingles, listening to a lot of noises that you may ask somebody who's next to you, did you hear that? And they'll say no. So these are the three clairs that are showing up to me right now, because this two cards, having this card come out after you got this card, as you saw it, this is a big deal. This is very exciting. So they're wanting you to focus on those three things at the moment. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with the Starstream Oracle. And yes, there is a lot of boobs in this, and There's even spaceships in this deck, which I think is quite very interesting. The first one is the journey of Ilya, which is nothing is absolute and change is the only constant. So knowing that we are constantly changing as we evolve, as time moves on, we also change with time. So it's asking us not to get too comfortable with one part of ourselves, because it may be one part of ourselves that we enjoyed and we may not have that part next week. So this is allowing yourself to flow freely with the energy. Don't swim upstream. Just allow to go with your own energy. Also, don't believe everything you read or anything that you hear publicly. As they say, nothing is carved in stone. You may be feeling helpless and giving in to negative outcomes, and it will not help alter the situation. So this has a lot to do with many of, you know, how we talked about this with the people trying to attack you and saying a lot of negative things, or you feeling a lot of negative from them. It's time for you to just put a blockage in them, because right now it seems that if anybody's trying to send you a psychic attack, you actually have the power to shield it yourself. So this is kind of like a be aware card. I don't see it happening in this very moment, but it is your gifts. Remember how I just said that you could tell a lot by somebody's picture. The same way that you could sense that these women are out of negative and evil nature, the same way they could look at your picture and see you're a very strong and gifted person. So you see what I'm saying? You can sense their energy, but they can also sense your strength, and that may cause a lot of problems, especially in those groups. Like, you see that I even took myself out of magical folk. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people that want to act like they're the holy grail and, oh, they're the ones that know the most. So what I would recommend you to do is, anytime you participate in any of these groups, completely shield yourself. Know that you are a powerful, powerful person. Whether you believe in it or not, that does not change your gifts. So just remain shielded and do a protective ritual for yourself once a week. You need to start doing that once a week, because there's a lot of people that are starting to sense it, and for some reason, this I don't know what's going on. It's changed so much in like the last 3 to 4 years, that now instead of women coming together like we have, they now have this competition of like, oh no, I have more gifts than you, or I know. No, that's not how it works. Everyone, we're all different. Nobody has the same gifts, and that's why in the workshops it's beautiful, because we could all learn from each other. You know what I mean? So you just have to be very careful, because the same way that you sense their energy, they know that you are extremely powerful, and for some reason they can't deal with that. The next one we have emptiness, and it's you hold in your heart and space, a space to be healed. So there is something inside of you, in your heart, that may be missing, and you're trying to still heal that part of your heart. So what the spirit guides are saying is, take it easy, allow yourself to grieve, and allow yourself to heal. There may be still grieving of a loss that you've had previously, that it doesn't matter how long ago it was, you are not done grieving. So in order for you to feel that space in that part of your heart, you need to allow yourself to completely grieve the loss and then accept it and move on. The next part is the angel of the chalice well, which is speak your truth and express yourself. This is another card asking you to be blunt. You saw how one of the tarot cards wants you to kind of just start saying things as it is, and I know that's difficult for you, but I do believe it's time, because by doing this you're setting your boundaries stronger, therefore making the point across, you know, you're gonna respect me. And a lot of people may see you as Courtney, she is so sweet, because you do have that sweet nature physically, that very childlike, youthful nature, but at the same time you don't want people to confuse, oh, she's sweet, she's gifted, she has no idea what she can do. No. You're going to want to be like, hey, you know, I'm sweet, I'm gifted, but, you know, I could F you up if I wanted to. You kind of have to embrace that about you. The next one is the rebirth of the green man, which is wake the divine masculine. So it's also adding some masculine energy into your workings. We know that feminine is the intuition, the inner workings, the nurturing parts. Also add some masculine, basically not being afraid if you have to get a little rough and if you have to get a little serious when you're doing your rituals, your spells. Know that there is more to expand out there, and you're actually ready for that. So to end the reading, what I'm going to do is I am going to pull out one card, and this one is the Oracle of Visions. And the card basically that we have is basically embracing your inner goddess. When we're talking about embracing your inner goddess, it's nurturing and taking care of others as well as taking care of yourself. This is representing your nurturing nature. Basically, as you can see in the picture, we have a mother embracing the child, and as you can see, she's giving extreme eye contact with that look. You know, yes, he's my baby. If you mess with my baby, I'll throw you in the fire that's behind me. So what does this say for Courtney? That you need to embrace your nurturing side as well as your strong side. A nurturer is also a person who protects. So you find yourself being a nurturer and a healer, but also with that vibe of wanting to protect people. So basically, it's time for you to embrace your gifts. What your spirit guides are saying, don't underplay yourself. Don't be stubborn, they keep saying that word. Don't be hard-headed, and allow them to guide you. It seems that the blockage right now that you have, it's all you not believing in what you can do. You are a very, very, very gifted person, but the only person that can pull you out of this thing is yourself. So just understand that you just need to believe in yourself. And I know that sounds cheesy, but there's no other way I can put it. Like I said, I would shake you and say, you are gifted, woman, you know, and not only are you gifted for beautiful nature things, you can also cause a lot of chaos if you wanted to. So that's where the masculine energy, the green man card, is coming into play. Embrace your nurturer, embrace your feminine side, but don't be afraid to use your masculine side as well. So it's time for you to set your boundaries. The spirit guides are just kind of saying how they are just getting upset, maybe of people taking advantage of you, people making you feel less than you are, and you believing in it. They're kind of upset of almost you getting bullied and by other people when they know, and they're saying that, you know, they are here. Your strength is up here. You could literally just step on them if you want. And that's what I'm getting, a very nurturing, protective side of your spirit guides. And it's mostly a male energy that is just there saying these things. They don't want you to be hurt anymore by other people. They want you to rise up, basically like the phoenix. You rise up, you know, and you kind of put people in their place. So I think that message is quite very beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to download the reading. I'm going to send it your way, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. I love you, and you seriously, now now it's back to me and not Light Witch Tarot. You seriously need to embrace those gifts, Courtney. I mean, seriously, you have your spirit guides screaming, and I've told you this from the very beginning. It's time for you to just break the shackles. Whatever you feel that's making you think that you're not good enough, just burn it, just throw it away, because it may even just be something that's just put it in your mind, because your mind actually knows she's gifted. Let me not tell her that. It's almost like a caution thing. You don't need a shackles. You don't need to be cautioned. You have very good balance on how to use your energy. You just have to embrace it. So I'm going to download it. I'm going to send it to you, and I can't wait to hear your feedback. I love you, and lots of love and light your way, and blessed be. Bye-bye.